Hello everyone. Welcome back to Improved Version, a channel dedicated to sharing profound knowledge on holistic personal development through the lens of the world's greatest books. It is truly a pleasure to have you here as we embark on a journey that transcends time and space. Have you ever heard of the Diamond Sutra? This is not just any book. It is a crucial and classic scripture in Mahayana Buddhism, often considered the fundamental doctrine of all Buddhist studies. The term Diamond Sutra, or Vajracchedika Parinaparamita in Sanskrit, carries two powerful meanings. First, it represents a lightning bolt that penetrates through everything, shattering the darkness of ignorance in a single flash. Second, it refers to the hardest stone known to man, the diamond. Simply put, the Diamond Sutra teaches that when sorrow and distress arise in your life, you can learn to pierce through them like lightning in an instant, making your mind as firm and indestructible as a diamond, unshakable by the storms of the external world. But this wisdom is not just for the difficult times. When joy and success come your way, the sutra teaches you to be like a flash of lightning, seeing through the temporary nature of that happiness, allowing you to maintain a steadfast mind against all temptations of pleasure and lust. This is precisely why so many people, including those who do not identify as Buddhists, turn to the Diamond Sutra. They use it to cultivate a profound inner strength, to resist the overwhelming influences of society, and to find a way to escape the cycle of suffering and mental afflictions. In its original form, the Diamond Sutra is remarkably short, containing only a little over 5,000 words that record a conversation between the Buddha and his senior disciple Subhuti. However, reading and truly understanding it is quite a challenge. Because it is a record of ancient dialogue, the language used is deeply rooted in profound Buddhist terminology that can be difficult for the modern mind to comprehend. Each chapter is often just a small section, consisting of a few brief sentences that require careful, meditative consideration. If you simply skim through it, the message might feel vague, or you might even feel like the book isn't saying anything at all. Throughout history, there have been countless interpretations and academic debates regarding this scripture. However, among all these various explanations, I have found the insights of the great master Nan Huai-Chin to be particularly sharp and brilliant. He has a way of taking these ancient, lofty concepts and making them incredibly relatable and easy to understand for us today. Therefore, I want to use his teachings from the book What is the Diamond Sutra About? To convey to you the core spirit of this path. My hope is that this sharing will inspire you to live a life that is completely free from unnecessary suffering and sorrow. The full name of this scripture is the Diamond Sutra of Parinaparamita. But what do these words actually mean? Parina in Sanskrit refers to a specific kind of wisdom, not ordinary intelligence gained through books or logic, but the ultimate wisdom required to perceive the true nature of all things exactly as they are. Paramita means reaching the other shore. You might ask, why do we need to cross to the other side? We need to cross because where we are currently standing, the world of our senses and our everyday worries is not our true destination. The things we think belong to us, the titles we chase, and the materials we accumulate ultimately turn out to be meaningless in the face of eternity. The other shore is not a physical location on a map. It is the highest realm of human consciousness, where we are finally freed from all bondage. Therefore, Parinaparamita means the wisdom that leads us directly to the shore of enlightenment. Before we dive into the text itself, let me tell you a little bit about the author who helped clarify these teachings for me. Nan Huai-Chin. He was a renowned scholar, educator, and a master of the three teachings Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism. He was a professor at numerous prestigious universities, but his true education came after he left the classroom. He began traveling extensively, seeking out eminent monks and extraordinary individuals across the mountains, studying in ancient temples where the air was thick with centuries of meditation. Legend has it that he received direct enlightenment and secret teachings from many high-ranking lamas. After 1949, his journey led him to Taiwan and later to the United States, where he produced classic works that have been translated into dozens of languages. It was this incredibly rich life journey that gave him a profound understanding of human nature and the ability to interpret scriptures like the Diamond Sutra with such clarity. Now, let us find out what the Diamond Sutra is truly about. The essential first step on the path to liberation from suffering begins with a story that may seem very ordinary at first. In the Diamond Sutra, it is recorded that once upon a time, the Buddha was staying in the Jetavana Grove in the country of Shravasti, accompanied by 1,250 senior monks. As mealtime approached, the Buddha did something very humble. He put on his monastic robe, picked up his alms bowl, and walked into the great city to beg for food. He went from house to house, accepting whatever was offered, and then returned to the monastery to eat his meal. Afterward, he put away his robe and bowl, washed his feet, spread out his mat, and simply sat down. At that moment, Subhuti, his chief disciple, rose from the crowd. He exposed his right shoulder as a sign of respect, knelt on one knee, and addressed the Buddha with his hands clasped. "Almost esteemed Lord Buddha, you have shown such great concern for the thoughts of all people. You have offered us excellent guidance. But tell me, if a devotee wishes to attain the highest wisdom, how should they settle their mind? How should they subdue their wandering thoughts?" The Buddha replied, "It is very good, Subhuti, that you're paying attention to the mindset of the people. Listen carefully. I will tell you that those who wish to attain the highest wisdom should settle their minds in this way and subdue their minds in this way." Subhuti responded, "Yes, Venerable Buddha, we are delighted to hear your teachings." This is where the conversation takes a very interesting turn. You see, people are often confused about how to find peace. We look for complicated rituals or secret mantras. But the Buddha's reply was essentially saying that in the very moment you ask that question, the moment you sincerely desire to know who you are and how to escape suffering, you have already touched enlightenment. Everyone has these moments. You might be sitting in traffic or lying awake at night, and you feel an intense urge to live a more meaningful life. That flash of awareness is enlightenment. The problem, however, is that enlightenment is often a fleeting moment. It flickers on like a light bulb but then goes out because we cannot maintain mindfulness. Think about your own life. Have you ever started a new healthy habit like exercising, reading more, or practicing gratitude only to quit after a few weeks? We find it easy to start, but nearly impossible to sustain. The same applies to our spiritual awakening. Many people have never even experienced that first moment of clarity because their thoughts are entirely consumed by the questions of how to be more comfortable, how to be safer, or how to gain more control over others. These questions don't lead to freedom. They only lead to more anxiety. The flame of awakening is only beginning to ignite in a few. Keeping that flame burning under any circumstances is a rare and heroic feat. Imagine yourself as a small, flickering candle in the middle of a vast, dark forest. You are surrounded by the winds of society and the heavy pressure of the crowd. You might worry that your light is too fragile and will be extinguished. But the Diamond Sutra teaches that if you're courageous and steadfast in your practice, no matter how small your light is, it will eventually be enough to illuminate the entire forest. So, if you hear that silent voice within you urging you to seek true freedom, rejoice. You are at a sacred starting point. This is not a coincidence. It is the moment the seeds of wisdom you have sowed over many lifetimes are finally beginning to sprout. Cherish this moment as a blessing. So, what should we do next to keep this flame alive? The Diamond Sutra points us toward the practice of the 6 perfections, also known as the 6 paramitas. As we discussed, paramita means reaching the shore where there is no more suffering. These 6 methods are generosity, morality, patience, diligence, meditation, and wisdom. Interestingly, the sutra doesn't just list these as abstract concepts. It shows them through the Buddha's own actions at the very beginning of the book. When the Buddha went out to beg for food, it was an act of generosity. Even though he was the one asking, he was actually bestowing a blessing. By allowing people to give, he was helping them sow seeds of merit. When he wore his robe and carried his bowl, a vessel called a patra, which means measuring the quantity, he was practicing morality and discipline. He set a rule to eat only 1 meal a day at noon, maintaining this rhythm every single day. When he walked from house to house with humility, he was practicing patience and forbearance. He didn't get angry if someone gave him nothing or asked unpleasant questions. He embraced everything with an open heart. After returning, he cleaned up, washed his feet, and sat down. This was the practice of diligence and meditation, and the entire process, done with total awareness, was wisdom. This shows us that the Buddha is not a distant, unreachable God. He is approachable, simple, and orderly. He teaches us that every single aspect of our daily life, from the way we eat to the way we sit, can be a form of spiritual practice. If your actions uphold these perfections, your mind will find peace. If they do not, suffering will arise. Every action throughout your day is an opportunity to escape the cycle of pain. However, maintaining these perfections is almost impossible until you overcome the greatest obstacle in human life, your attachment to appearances and the influence of others. The Buddha explained to Subhuti that this is how a seeker should subdue their mind. They must realize that they are here to help all beings achieve liberation, beings born from seeds, from worms, or from the elements, yet they must understand that, in reality, no being is ever liberated by them. This sounds like a paradox, doesn't it? The Buddha further stated that to be a true seeker of truth, one must not cling to the 4 signs or the 4 appearances. These are the self-image, the human image, the sentient being image, and the lifespan image. In Buddhist terminology, form or appearance refers to both external looks and internal concepts. The first attachment we must break is the ego characteristic, the I. This is our perception of ourselves, what I like, what I hate, what I own, and what I must control. When you place too much importance on your ego, you want the whole world to conform to your will. You believe you are the center of the universe. This mindset is the breeding ground for greed, anger, and delusion. It is the reason why people suffer so much when things don't go their way. The second attachment is the human image, the perception of others as independent entities opposed to yourself. This is when your mind divides the world into me versus him, her, or them. The third is the sentient being image, which involves the broader categorization of species, status, and social classes. The Diamond Sutra warns that if a seeker thinks they are higher than others because they are saving them, they have already failed. There is no teacher and student in the eyes of the ultimate truth. There is only complete equality. Sentient beings are Buddhas who have not yet awakened, and the Buddha is a sentient being who has. The fourth attachment is the lifespan image, the idea that something exists permanently, or that death is the ultimate end. To be truly free, you must transcend the concept of time and understand that everything is in a constant state of flux, neither being born nor dying in the way we traditionally think. Only when we break free from these four attachments can we truly attain enlightenment. Helping others is essentially helping ourselves. If you help someone else let go of their ego, you're letting go of your own. Nan Huaichin said that if someone truly understands these first two dialogues of the sutra, they don't even need to read the rest of the book. But how do we actually break free from these attachments in our modern, busy lives? There's a famous quote by Zen Master Than Nguyen Dai that describes 3 levels of perception. On the path to consciousness, at the first level, seeing a mountain is seeing a mountain. This represents a state of being completely blinded by appearances. You see others making money, so you rush to make money without knowing why. You sacrifice your health for a paycheck and then spend that paycheck trying to buy back your health. This is pure attachment to form, and it leads only to greed and suffering. At the second level, seeing a mountain is not seeing a mountain. This is a state of complete negation or avoidance. Some people hear spiritual teachings and decide that money is evil or that the world is bad. They try to escape reality, but this is still an attachment and attachment to nothingness. If you deny everything, you will still suffer because you're still judging. The third and highest level is seeing a mountain as just a mountain. This is the state of non-attachment. It means seeing money as merely a tool, neither good nor bad. It means realizing that to find joy, you only need what you truly require, not a mountain of excess. You stop categorizing the world into dualities like existence and non-existence, or good and bad. We are too prone to judging everything and everyone we meet. This judgment comes from the ego. To be free, you must reach a state of egolessness. Many people mistake emptiness for nothingness. They think that if life returns to dust, then nothing matters. But that is just another form of attachment. True Buddhist non-self is about breaking the shackles of the mind so that you can live fully, freely, and without the endless void you created for yourself. The most fundamental way to achieve this is to purify your perception. The Buddha summarized human knowledge into 10 distortions, 5 wrong views and 5 wrong thoughts. The 5 wrong views are: the view of self clinging to the body as mine, biased views clinging to extremes like forever or never, clinging to one's own ideology as absolute, believing in false or superstitious things, and clinging to rituals as the only way to be saved. The 5 wrong thoughts are: greed, excessive craving; anger, the inability to control frustration; infatuation, delusion, and ignorance, arrogance; looking down on others; and suspicion, distrust of what is right. These 10 subjects are the root of all trouble. If you can begin to eliminate them today, you will be freed in this very moment. However, the Buddha also left us with a final warning. Do not even cling to the Dharma or the teachings themselves. He used the metaphor of a raft. A method or a teaching is like a raft used to cross a river. Once you reach the other shore, the shore of enlightenment, you don't carry the raft on your back. For the rest of your life, you have to get off the boat, or you'll never actually step onto the land. This means that in whatever you do, you should simply focus on the doing, not the result. Do not worry about whether you have succeeded or failed in your spiritual practice. Even the thought I have achieved enlightenment is an attachment to the ego. Whether you win or lose, whether you're happy or sad today, These are all just appearances. If you cling to them, your effort vanishes. Just do the work. If you succeed, peace comes naturally. If you fail, you learn. But don't dwell on it. When you understand this, your life becomes like the carefree sky or the gentle flow of water. You live each day fully in the present. You don't lose your mind regretting the past or worrying about the future. When you give love, you give it completely without demanding a return. When you succeed, you enjoy the moment without pride. When you fail, you learn without regret. When you help someone, you don't look for a thank you. We live to know our own minds, much like a mirror. A mirror doesn't keep the images that are reflected in it. Joy comes and the mirror reflects it. Sorrow comes and the mirror reflects it. But once the object moves away, the mirror is clear again. This is the wisdom of the middle way, living in the world without belonging to the world. In the final sections of the sutra, the Buddha reveals that he too once lived a life without achieving any enlightenment. He emphasizes again that only by letting go of all attachments to form and ego can we attain a pure mind. The first step of the 6 perfections is giving, which corresponds to the mission of saving all beings. The final path is wisdom, of formless wisdom that is free from all limitations. Everything must happen naturally, without being forced or sought out. How can we achieve this natural state? Just look at the Buddha's day: eat, get dressed, wash your feet, and rest. Enlightenment is found in these simple, everyday actions. There's no special secret method. The truth is present in every gesture and every breath. Words are just tools. Don't pursue results. Just live your life fully. When you practice the perfections in your daily routine, you're already living in a state of liberation, free from the suffering that once weighed you down. This is the entire content and the core spirit of the Diamond Sutra. As we close this discussion, I want you to ask yourself, what is the most profound thought that remains with you right now? Perhaps it is the realization that there is nothing to hold onto, and therefore nothing to let go of. There's only an empty, clear, and free mind amidst all the phenomena of the world. My sincere wish for you is that you find freedom from all the worries and anxieties that have burdened you. May you walk your path with a diamond-like mind and a heart full of compassion. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with us today. This exploration of the Diamond Sutra is a journey we are all on together. If you found this video helpful, or if it brought a sense of peace to your day, please share it with your friends, your family, or anyone you know who might be struggling to find their balance. If you want to continue discovering the wisdom of the world's most influential books, and join a community dedicated to becoming the improved version of ourselves, please take a moment to support the channel. Hit that like button, it really helps us reach more people who are looking for these answers. Most importantly, click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our weekly deep dives. We release new, in-depth content every week to help you navigate your own journey toward mindfulness and freedom. Please share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. Let's keep the flame of mindfulness burning together. Thank you again for listening, for your support, and for your commitment to growth. I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Until then, stay peaceful, stay free, and remember that the miracle is already inside you. Goodbye for now.